What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Deborah. So today's video I'll be showing you guys how to take body measurement and draft a basic bodice block. So a basic bodice block is going to help you guys whenever you want to design garments such as blouse, top, jacket. It has to do with just the upper section of the body, but as time goes on I'll make other videos on how to make the full bodice block. And if you want to learn how to do this, please stay to the end of the video. And without further ado, let's get to the video. So guys, when you're taking body measurements, what you need are the vertical measurement and the horizontal measurement. So we're going to start with the vertical measurements for now. The vertical measurement, you need your shoulder to bust, that's shoulder to your nipple point, your shoulder to waist, that's shoulder to your navel, your shoulders to hips, that's shoulder to the widest circumference of your hips. And this is the measurement for the vertical. Over to the horizontal measurement, you need your shoulder, that's edge to edge. You need your bust circumference that'll be divided by 4. Your waist circumference, that'll be divided by 4, and your hip circumference, which will be divided by 4. So like I said, this is the horizontal measurement and how it's been calculated. This is a standard calculation. So we have the horizontal and we have the vertical below. So you start by drawing a baseline on your pattern paper, and from that baseline is going to be your shoulder line. So I just did shoulder to bust, that's shoulder to waist, and that is shoulders to hip. So you repeat the markings again to enable you get a straight line. Alright, so we have our vertical measurements in place. Now what we are doing next is the horizontal. So I'm starting with the shoulder. As you can see, I'm marking out my shoulder point. I'm also marking it on my bust line to enable me get a straight line. I'm labeling it now so we don't get confused. That's the bust line, that's the waist line, and the last is a hip line. So now I'm placing the circumference of the bust divided by 4. That's what I'm marking out right now. Doing the same on the waistline, waist circumference divided by 4. That's what I'm marking out now. And my hip divided by 4. That's what I'm marking as well. So now I'm going to use the body curve right now to curve out the lines. Then I'm flipping it over to continue curving out the hips. On the shoulder line, you need to drop by 1 inch. That's to enable you get the shoulder slant because the shoulder is not straight. And then I'm marking my armhole point. That's my armhole divided by 2. I'm drawing out the line, and that line automatically becomes a chest line. Now I'm going to find the midpoint of my armhole, which is 4 inches, and at that point I'm going to come in by 1 inch. I'll be drawing out a straight line now. Then use the armhole curve to connect the lines. You have to make sure the ruler matches with the chest line, the 1 inch you came in, and the 1 inch slant on the shoulder line. Once it matches, you draw out your armhole. That automatically is a front armhole. Now we work on the neckline. The standard measurements for width and depth on a basic bodice is 3 inches by 3 inches. So that's what I'm marking out now. 3 inches width and 3 inches depth. Then I'll use the armhole to connect the line. You could use your free hand if you're comfortable with it. And now we'll drop our shoulder slant. That's from the 3 inches width to the 1 inch we dropped initially on the shoulder line. Our basic bodice is almost ready. Now we need an allowance, because if we are working with just this on the fabric, it's going to be really tight. So your allowance could be 1 inch or 2 inches. I'm working with 1 inch for the purpose of this video. And I'll be connecting the lines now. You also need to keep an allowance below the hip. So you mark out 1 inches and then you draw the line. Connect it back to the initial hip line. Our pattern is almost ready. Now we need the back armhole and we need the back neckline as well. So for the back armhole, all you have to do is to connect the chest line to the 1 inch you came in initially at the midpoint of the armhole. And that's the back armhole right there. And then for the neckline of the back armhole, you drop by 1 inch. This is standard. And then you connect it back to the 3 inches width we had initially. So right now we have our front and back bodies on this pattern. So you take your paper scissors and you cut that out. Your waist is not straight, neither is it edgy, it's quite very curvy, so please remember to always curve the lines. We also need an allowance for the neckline and the armhole. I've gone ahead to do that, and the shoulder slants, and I kept ½ inch allowance for the armhole, the shoulder slant, and the neckline. We're cutting that out now. And our bodice is ready. So on this bodice we have the back and the front pattern. Okay guys, so this is the finished basic bodice. As you can see, this bodice actually contains the back and the front pattern. So we have the back neckline and we have the front neckline. We have our shoulder slant, we have the front armhole, and we have the back armhole with its allowance. And then we have a chest line, we have a bust line, we have a waist, and we have a hip plus the allowance. Okay, so this is what it looks like. At the end of the video, if it was helpful, please give it a thumbs up, like, share, and please don't forget to subscribe. And I'll see you in my next one.